I want two, three, four. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again.
I cannot wait to get on the road again either. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of What We're Listening to. This is Nick.
And Courtney.
Hello, world.
We are not on the road.
No, we are still in the kitchen. Kind of. That is First Aid Kit's cover of On the Road Again. They just released a single. Why did they just release that single, Courtney?
Because they can't wait to be on the road again.
That's right.
I love First Aid Kit. I love their music. They're sweet.
Both the band and like actual First Aid Kits. Every time we go somewhere, you're like, we need a First Aid Kit with us.
Totally. There's like a cat hair fuzz on my microphone, and I don't want to eat it.
It's cool. We'll do it live.
Yeah, I also love the band. They're a Swedish duo. I think they're sisters.
Yes, they are.
But they recorded this 7 years ago, this cover of the Willie Nelson song. So the Willie Nelson song, I have to put this pen down or I'm going to wave it around the entire time I'm talking.
It's good. It's fine.
The Willie Nelson song was released in 1980.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel a little old?
No, I wasn't born yet, so.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you know the song so well. I don't know. Anyways, the First Aid Kit recorded this cover 7 years ago, and they were just feeling nostalgic about being on the road.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say so they released this song a few days ago in anticipation of getting out there on the road again, touring, seeing their people. And they made a music video using cell phone footage from tours of past years. And I wanted to read this quote because I thought it was cute. But they said, we made a video for the song using cell phone footage from our tours throughout the years. Going through all those videos made us emotional. It made us realize how much we appreciate being able to roam freely around the world, how much we love the feeling of playing live for people in the flesh, how much we miss our incredible band and crew. Yeah, and I'm sure artists are feeling the exact same way. But they did a cool thing with this song. They actually, the proceeds of the track sales from this song is going to Crew Nation, which I guess is helping crews from... Yeah,
the roadies and the backstage people and all that
are just out of work right now since nobody's touring. So that's cool. Good. They're
kind of like girls. Forgotten, probably not by people in the music industry, but forgotten individuals right now. Everyone's so focused for a good reason about the artists, trying to grab merch or maybe buying their albums and stuff because they can't tour, but there isn't as much attention, or there hasn't been as much attention on the backstage people who make their livelihoods in the same exact way when people are touring.
Totally.
So that's great.
Shout out to the sound technicians.
Do you want to give a shot at pronouncing their last name? Joanna and Clara.
Oh, where is it? You have it there?
Yeah.
Soderbergtuk.
Soderbergtuk. Yeah. It's pretty hard. It's got the O with the 2 dots above it. So earlier this week, I couldn't even pronounce Gillian Welch. I still don't remember I figured out which one it is, and I can't remember. Other news this week, happy birthday. It was your birthday earlier this week.
Thank you. Woo. Woo. Yeah, that was not enthusiastic.
Oh, I mean, it was earlier this week. Like I was way more excited.
He did a very good job, but I like to celebrate my birthday for
a month,
a whole month. There's no other holidays in August, so I think that any August babies can celebrate the whole month.
I my grandmother does not listen to this, but I bet that she would beg to differ. There's probably some like National Sandwich Day that you don't even know about.
Well, there's a national day every day of the week. That doesn't count. I just mean there's no federal holidays in August.
True. Very true.
Except for my birthday.
So
Leo season.
That was fun. I'm happy you chose that song because I decided that I want to do a Sound Bits episode on that First Aid Kit / Willie Nelson song, the cover, because there is a really cool story about its origin. So I won't spoil it for myself, but keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. Oh, I mean, we will.
Cool. All right. Let's get to the first song. I'm reading my notes that says all these things. Let's get to the first song.
We just did the first song.
Let's get to the second song.
My bad notes. Who writes those?
Bad notes. What is it? Do you know what it is? Oh,
no, it's always a surprise for me. I got to do this on the fly. I've got notes, but Nick loves to take them out of order, so I got to think on my toes.
Well, you know how like artists build albums and they're like, we need the flow to be like this thing, and it's got to go in a certain order. It's got to be up and downs on the emotions. I try and construct the show so that there's a little bit of up and down in terms of emotions. You know, I don't want it to go too far out. So here is a song by Chatham County Line, and they just released an album. It was actually in April, so it's not exactly.
I know.
brand
I've
new.
been excited to cover this one for a little while now.
It's been on our playlist, like our queue to cover for months. But this song is called Strange Fascination, which is the album's title. So we'll let it play and then we can talk about it kind of halfway through. So Strange Fascination by Chatham County Line.
Strange fascination, reach for a shooting star. Don't know how lucky, don't know how lucky you are. Strange fascination, it's gonna leave a mark. Don't know how lucky, don't know how lucky you are. I wanna be somewhere, I wanna be sedated.
So this song is... So Chatham County Line's been around for a while. They've been around for like a decade. And they're typically like a very bluegrass band. So there's usually no percussion at all. This album, they decided that they were going to go to the, I don't know, like maybe more like bluegrass rock. So there's most of the songs have...
You making up subgenres?
Yeah. Most of the songs have percussion on them. This one has very slight percussion, but there's some more that are, you know, a little bit more energy. But really like the song because it has Sharon Von Etten on it.
Yeah, the vocals I think are my favorite part, and there's an element of it, and maybe it's just because it's been on our playlist for a while that we've been meaning to cover it, but there's an element of it that feels really familiar.
It sounds like to me, so they made this move into this part of this genre, and the reason that they said they want to do it because they love their shows, but they're trying to basically every time they play a live show, I'm sure that you've been to at least a show like this where everyone just kind of sits there and like absorbs the beautiful music, but like there's not really like a reason to get up and dance kind of thing. So they're trying to experiment with like, can we have a different type of audience or like play a different kind of show by getting some percussion and some rock in there.
Interesting.
So that's really interesting, and what it sounds like to me is like it's moving more into the Trampled by Turtles sound.
Oh, I don't agree at all.
This song sounds like late night on the or midnight on the interstate to me.
Maybe. Trampled by Turtles, like in general, just has a completely different vibe. I mean, I think they have an occasional slow song, but it's mostly like stomping bluegrass.
I'm gonna overdub Midnight on the Interstate right here in the post.
I'm not saying they have no slow songs. I'm just saying it's not the norm. That's not how I think of their band.
Correct, and that's where they're trying to head. So that's where these guys are trying to go to. Other part about this is that they announced before this album was coming out that they had 4 members of their band. Dave Wilson, John Tier, Greg Redling, and Chandler Holt. And they announced before that Chandler Holt's leaving the band. This was going to be his last album. And it was like not a, crazy breakup or anything like that, but they'd like use this as like a goodbye album to him. I don't know where he's going. I think I saw that he's going to spend more time with his family and not tour as much and stuff. But
yeah,
which is interesting considering the timing. But maybe that's going to change because this album was released in April and he's probably gotten a lot of time with his family. So I don't know if that's changed at all.
That's a good one. Was trying not to talk through the whole thing, because the vocals on it are just so good.
Yeah, but you're supposed to go listen to it on your own after this. That's what we want.
True. What's next? What do we have?
A song by one of our favorite artists, Affy. Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's your song.
It is. Well, it's not my song. I wish it was. No, I'm excited about this one. And sometimes we try to hang on to singles that get released in anticipation of the full album being released, just to give the full thing a listen, to pick our favorite songs off the album. This one's not coming out until October, so I can't wait that long. So we're going to play.
I'm just like really excited for this album.
Me too. So we're going to play this one for you. This one's called Own Alone. And the album that's coming out in October is called Sad Hunk.
Yeah, the cover art is already out and it's really funny.
I love it.
He looks like he's wearing like a Hulk Hogan type outfit.
It like the mustache, the everything. I guess the name of the album is like a nickname from his wife based off of a really kind of sad hunk photo shoot that he did. And I'm wondering if the cover art is from that or if it's from something else.
It's like in it.
He's just, his
it's
sense
almost
of
like
humor
ironically
is so funny.
bad, but it's funny. Anyway,
Yeah.
Here it is. Own Alone by the Bahamas from Sad Hunk, coming in October. Whew, good save. Here we go.
Okay.
Messages they sent me. Now that's assuming that they meant me. That just left me feeling empty. Things are changing now so quickly. I feel that history has picked me. I was a fool to think you'd miss me.
Well, this song is just about the observance of time since mobile phones have become a thing.
Yeah.
If that wasn't obvious by the line, I'm on my own, but I'm not alone. Have you ever just sat in, we live in the city, so we take public transportation. I mean, not recently, but...
I go every day to the T and ride around and lick the handles.
But we lick the handles. But if you've ever been in a train car, literally nobody picks up their heads or even notices anything that goes around you, so you feel like you're on your own, but you're not alone.
So I used to do so much music discovery, reading, research, all that on my commute. And now that's not part of my day anymore. And so like I had to learn to force those types of things into my day.
Yeah.
Because you just naturally have 20, 30, some people have an hour plus commute, but that's time that they could be reading something or listening to something new.
Raise a glass now for everyone.
This podcast.
All God's children under the sun. Raise a glass now for only me. Cold and broken, lonely me. I'm on my own.
What I like about this song, and we both really wanted to do this, bring this song out because we do really like Bahamas. I just thought about what happened at the last Bahamas show that we were at.
I don't know what you're laughing about. Was I
I
there?
almost got into a fight.
We're going to have to talk about this later. I don't remember.
So what I like about this song, and he said this in the interview that he did about this, was there's nothing that isn't real, and I think it's all played live as a band in the studio.
Oh yeah. I don't know about that, but I think that feels
That's their vibe.
twofold almost, because I think this Sad Hunk album is just like an album about domestic life.
Yeah.
So songs about real life, and then whether or not they're kind of playing it and just letting things happen organically in the studio as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like they don't need any, from what it sounds like, they didn't do any kind of overdubbing. It's all live. There's a group of them that play together. It's, you know, that fast bass line and drum snare is real. Like it's not sped up or anything like that. It's cool. And it's not the same vibe as their last album, Earth Tones, which is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the album sounds, I guess. I feel like there's always still elements of his sort of self-deprecating humor in the way that he presents things. What was it? No Depression on Earth Tones was the same idea. It was like a sad song, but was like under the facade of this up-tempo, like happy song, but it is about being depressed.
Remember when we saw them in Sydney and he
Yeah.
kept saying they opened for Jack Johnson and he kept apologizing that they were out there being in the way for Jack Johnson to come out and play in like a really, funny way.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
that was
just
cool.
that's just his humor, I think. This kind of self-deprecating humor. But anyways, we're big fans and did actually go to the show to see him just as much as Jack Johnson.
Yeah. And they were very good, the band.
Yeah.
Next one that we have is, we really debated putting 2 songs by this artist on this show, but it probably would be overkill, even though the other song is also very, very good. This next song is from Paul Cauthen, and what we almost put on here was Cocaine Country Dancing, which he just today actually hit 3 million downloads on Spotify, which I'm assuming is a big deal because Spotify created a post for him and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty
That's
sure
awesome.
Our friend Casey probably is 1 million of those plays. Because I've heard him listen to that song kind of nonstop this whole summer. But his new song is called Bones, and I don't know that he's actually announced his new album that's going to come out yet. I couldn't find any info on it. He just kind of dropped this single. It's going to be on his next album, he said, but I don't think he put out like when that's happening. So
Okay.
could get surprised, and it could be in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure.
Sweet.
But he dropped it, and on his social media, it just had like one line. There's no info about this song really, and it just says, "Bones, it's out. People bury those negative thoughts and move forward. Period. Work for others and lend a hand." And then like a thank you to who helped produce it, which is Jada Dreyer and Teddy Geiger. So, I'm pretty sure that this is a song about helping others who are in a bad place. But then I listened to some of the lyrics, and I'm actually Not really sure.
I don't know. Interesting, because I've listened to the song a few times since he released it on Spotify, and I don't know that I've listened to the words that hard.
Well, have them pulled up so we can read it while we go.
Let's play it.
Okay, here we go. Bones by Paul Cauthen.
Throw faith in the fire, it's time to go. Live free or die trying, gonna justify my soul. I broke the silence, I walk alone. Made friends with darkness, out here digging a hole. Every now and then you let what you love go, and the wicked things you carry swallow you up whole. Well, bless these bleeding hands, and what will rest below? I'm burying bones, burying bones.
Before we get into the lyrics, his voice is so cool.
It's so deep.
It's like Johnny Cash when he got old. You know, he's got like later career when he had to sing deep because he couldn't really sing anymore as like an 80-year-old man or however old he was. Except I think he's probably a little older than us. He's probably late 30s.
Well, this
40s.
I was going to ask how old he was.
Yeah, so that Cocaine Country Dancing song, I know we're talking about this song, is like he went through a pretty bad period of his life. And that was his first like time coming out of it. He wrote a song when like reflecting on like the nights he would spend in motels just doing drugs and drinking all night.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
think
that's what the song's about.
Yeah, so I think he's been around, so to speak.
That's what this seems to me that this song is about. Like, I feel like it's almost about just like having baggage and letting it go. Like, and that's what the bones are. It's about letting these things go. It's about moving on. It's like turning a new page, but it's almost kind of dark. Like sometimes you're alone in that process and doing it, and you're moving away from certain people, whether that's, you know, if they were a negative influence in your life, or if you're maybe moving the other way and there are people that you love that have been trying to support you, and instead you're surrounding yourself with other drug addicts and other people that aren't as good for you. So I feel like this song could go either way, but I feel like it's almost about baggage.
Yeah, and let's see if he's got one more burst
Or just
of
what is
energy here.
what is that?
So his voice is unbelievable there. You kind of heard a little bit of it just there. But when I think of burying the bones, I kind of think of a very similar idea to having skeletons in your closet.
Yeah.
Both bone analogies, which is why I wore this Shaky Grave shirt that has skeletons on it.
There you go. I was
wow,
gonna say,
so topical.
I was gonna say a phrase that I haven't thought about in a while, like burying the hatchet, which I just had to Google, like, what does that actually mean? Because I feel like sometimes I use phrases without actually knowing what they mean.
No, you don't need to say it.
But
because
but sometimes it's helpful to read. So I just Googled it, and it means like the end of a quarrel or conflict and becoming friendly, which I feel like could be what this song is also sort of about.
Well, what I was going to say is you don't need to say what you thought it was.
No, that's what I thought it was.
Okay.
So I'm proud about that. I forget the other one that I was saying.
I thought you were going to be like, well, yeah, when you're done with your tools, you have to bury them in the yard.
Okay, I'm not a dog.
I think it could be that about this song. Like you're almost burying something in your life and putting it away and moving on, kind of thing.
A hatchet.
Yeah, but bones in this case. So maybe we'll learn more as time goes on. That just came out in the last week, so he only put out that one-liner. We shall see. All right, we have one more song.
Yes, we do.
What? A robot?
Yeah, this is another cover. So sort of unlike us to do 2 covers in the same show, but
There's no rules.
There's no rules. There's no rules. This one's by Whitney and an artist that we have covered on this show before, Waxahatchee.
Yep.
Who is Katie Crutchfield?
Crutchfield, yeah.
Katie Crutchfield. Is Waxahatchee. They did a cover of "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
Yeah,
Old
John Denver
song. It's good. I guess we'll let the song carry us out. So I'll just say a little bit about it before we go. Whitney put out a new album recently. It is called, what is it called? Candid. Yeah, they're a duo from Chicago. And the Candid album is, I think it's all covers or mostly covers.
It's all covers.
All covers.
Yeah. Very obscure covers too.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, that they're just, I mean, Take Me Home, Country Roads is probably the most popular song on that album. But the rest of them are kind of obscure folk covers that were not necessarily the previous band's biggest hit. So when I was listening through, I didn't recognize some of them. Also, I think, who's the main singer? Julian Ehrlich has a really high voice. Like he sings in falsetto, and so they have a very distinct style in how they play music, and so everything is in their own kind of style, and so I think that's a nice way to do things. But I really, really liked this cover, and I think that Katie really brings this element in that just makes it so good. I think she makes the song, in my opinion.
Yeah, and actually a lot of the reviews for this album highlighted that or noted that as the highlight of the album, like the highest point of the album. And there's some really there are good covers on here, but they are obscure, so maybe some people would be like, I don't really know this song or whatever. But there is a Blaze Foley cover, there's a Damien Gerudo cover, and then like the rest I don't really know outside of this John Denver song. So anyway, all right, here we go. This is Take Me Home, Country Roads, Whitney with Waxahatchee, aka Katie Crutchfield. Here we go.
And you can't fade out until she comes on.
I won't. Don't worry.
Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
So before we kind of stop talking, before she comes on, what I did read was that they had her in mind for this, like
Yes.
from the beginning,
Yes.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.
I hear a voice.
All right, well, that's an episode. We'll let Whitney and Waxahatchee take us out. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, Tell your friends. Maybe leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. Those help. Actually, they really do help. The little algorithm engine that runs.
Play it
Apple.
for your dog.
If you don't like this show, just pretend it never happens and tell nobody.
Bye.
Bye. Catch you on the next one. See you next week.